Hello and welcome back. We are going through the Matrix Gold 3.4 menus at the top, and today is part 2 of the curve menu. The first curve that we're going to go over is the fillet curves, and that is up at the top here. Notice I have the curve menu selected. And we're going to go until we find it, and it looks like this, fillet curve. Now, one thing I didn't notice for a long time, and I accidentally moved one of my icons over. So Matrix Gold, you can do that, which I think is amazing because the ones that you use all the time, you can put towards the front. So I say that to say this. Your menu might not look exactly the same, but you can find it because I'm just going to go over it, and it looks just like this. Okay, so before we actually do the fillet curve action, we need to have some curves out here in order to do that. So I'm just going to pop on down to rectangle. We haven't gone over that yet. And I'm just going to put a rectangle in. I'm going to change the default color by clicking on the color itself, and I also clicked on the arrow to change this to white so that you can see it a little bit better. Let's do a little bit of filleting. Okay, click on the fillet corners, look in your command line, it says select curve. Press enter when done, and look at that. It gives you a nice little curve. You can adjust the radius on the side here. So there you go. And you click enter when done with your command. Now you'll notice that my original line, my original curve that was white is still there. The default for curves, profiles, and menu actions that you actually do, it will come in on the yellow. So be sure and have your yellow on. If I turn it off, it won't be there when you actually fillet the curve, and you'll wonder, why isn't it there? I did everything I was supposed to. So one little thing that I want to remind everybody of is if there's a little lightning bolt above the icon, that means that it is a dynamic command, and it will pop up over here to the right of your foreview. And so you can see right here, there's fillet curves, and you can press edit and adjust your radius either with the toggle out on the screen or with the slide bar inside of your dynamic command box. Sometimes when you're in the process of designing, you'll do something, and then a few steps down the line you'll think, oh, I wish I had that a little more curved or a little less curved. And so it's really great with Matrix Gold that you can adjust that after the fact. All right, moving on. Extract ISO curve. I'm going to move that out of the way, have it still there. So in order to extract ISO curve, I am going to put a solid in the display. And I'm going to change it to shaded by right-clicking on the perspective title and clicking on shaded. So let's see here. I need to go back to the curve menu, extract ISO curve. There it is. You can see it right there, and you can move the position of it. I clicked on the top of the solid rectangle, and so that is the plane that it is adjusting. And it looks like we have some adjustments here. We can turn it at a different degree. The degree will pop up there if you want 90, and it clicks every 15, it looks like every 15 degrees perhaps. That's really cool. There you go. Can you see that in the yellow? Change this color. There, I'll change it to blue so you can see it. There you go. And then it is a dynamic command. So if you clicked on this and highlighted your curve that you just extracted, you can come over here to your dynamic command box, and you can click on edit, and then you can adjust any of these things through the dynamic command box, or you could adjust it up here with the little wheel or the little dot. Very good. Next we have trim curve. I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to undo it, just giving you guys a little practice there. Now, I probably haven't talked about this very much, and sometimes some of the basics are like, how do you do that? So just wanted to let you guys know, you just surround everything you want to move, and you just grab it and move it. It's very easy. Okay, let's talk about trim. So I am going to bring in a curve, and I'll bring in another curve. All right, up here in the menu, trim, and it's also a dynamic command. I'm going to click on that, and it wants me to select curve. Ah, interesting. Okay, so I'm going to back up. This command is new to me. I have used Matrix for over 12 years, but Matrix Gold is new to me. So the dynamic commands are all new. So I'm going to do that again because I want to figure out how we're going to do this. Oh, okay. What it's doing is it is allowing you to move the position of where you want that curve to be. You can go all the way to the end and then make a selection of where you want that. And then your original curve, which was in white, is still there. Let's do this one. Okay, now I'm going to click the white off. But in order to do that, I can't just come over here to the little eyeball and turn it off, or a window will pop up and say, you cannot hide current layer. So I am going to move the current layer to dark green, and I am going to shut off the white, and then you can see these curves that I created and I trimmed. Okay, I'm going to click on the white again. There we go. And we're going to shake it up a little bit. I'm going to do a bright green and make that the current layer. Okay, what is next? We are going to split the curve. I went right over that and I went to trim curve. All right. Now, before we do that, I am going to show you something. So, Matrix is a plugin to Rhino software, and Rhino has a lot of commands as well, and sometimes they're a little different than Matrix. So I am going to come over here to trim in the quick commands, and I'm going to select that. It wants me to select my cutting objects, and then I press enter when done, and I can trim away the excess. I use that all the time, and I was expecting the trim dynamic command to work the same, but I see it has a whole different function, which I think is awesome. And I definitely will use the trim curve up at the top of the menu bar. All right, so now I want to do split curve. I'll do a straight one for that. There are times, I'm going to turn this a different color. There are times when you want to split a curve specifically at an intersection. So for this, we are going to come down here and make sure our O snaps are on. And then we are going to come up right below the foreview and make sure that our intersection, yes, our intersection is on. I'm going to click off center because we don't need that, and I'm going to click off quad, but the intersection is on, and I always leave mid and end on. So I am going to split curve. Let's see if this function is the same as split curve in the quick command. All right, we're going to click on split curve icon, select curve, this one, and it wants me to move this where I want to split it. But my O snaps aren't working. Oh boy. Okay, so this is going to be really practical if you want to split it with a point. And it did work. I am going to turn off. Okay, I'm going to turn off this layer because that was our original, right? And turn back on the yellow. And it did split it. It's hard to see that. I'll put it on the bluish little turquoise. So you can see right here it split it right where I had that dot, and I did press enter. Another way that you can split things, if you want to split it with a line, is you go back over to your quick commands and you press split. Go down to your command line. It says select object to split. I'm going to select this and then press enter when done. Select your cutting objects right here. There we go. And now I have split that again, but this time it has split right there. I'm going to put one more line here because I want to show you how this works. Turn it red, how it works with your quick command split. I'm going to select split. I want to cut this line or split it, and I'm going to do it with a point. And my intersection is on, and look at that. It grabs right there at the intersection. And I click, and then I press enter when I'm done, and it split right there. Undo, there we go. I'll move that up here. And that was split. Use it all of the time. Okay, I am going to put these in a job bag. So I'm going to save to the job bag. And I am going to delete them because at any time I can click in the center of the job bag and get those back. And then if I want to delete them again, I can. I can delete these, and anytime I can click on the middle of the job bag to get them back. The next thing that I'm going to go over is curve from two views. Now let's move this over here. We'll put it all the way over to the beginning. Curve from two views. Okay, before I do that, I need to actually have a couple curves, two to be exact. So that you can understand how this is used a lot, I am going to bring in a ring rail. Just going to leave that at the size 7. If you want to change your ring rail, you go over here to your dynamic command, you click edit, and it will pop up the different sizes. The 7 is there. It's let's change that to an 8. So you can see it got a little bit bigger. And now I'm going to put a curve in that could represent like a bypass ring. There we go. And I am going to go back to my curve from 2 views up at the top in the menu, click on that, and the command line says select my first curve, select second curve, and look at what happened. So it took my curve that I created down here, the bright green. I'll turn that off. Oop, cannot turn off. Current layer. I will move my current layer and I'll turn off the green. So what you see here is the curve is in the shape of the ring rail and the shape of the curve that I just drew out there. Now you can use this then to create a ring. Let's split that right here. Let's practice our splitting. I know we haven't done our lines yet, but I'm going to bring a line in and I want to start it at F4 and I'm going to make it straight by hitting shift. I'm going to select this curve that we created. I'm going to come up here to split and I'm going to split it with this curve, the cutting object, and press enter. It didn't work. That happens sometimes. So what I do then is I select that curve, go back up to split, and I want to split with the point. So I select point and my O snaps are on, and look at that, it wants to snap right to mid. So I click, press enter, and voila, there we go. So for whatever reason, if your splitting with the curve doesn't work, you can split with a point, and almost always that works. Okay, I'm going to turn the red off, and I am going to delete my curve that I used to split, and this is what you're left with. Now, that particular command, the dynamic command, I'm not sure why my ring rail went away. So I'm going to bring that back in, and I am going to change it to a size 8. And there we go. And you can put a profile on this. We haven't talked about profiles yet. That will be the next video. Unless we have time today. So let's go ahead, put this in another job bag, and delete that. All right, dupe edge. Let's see what we can do. Oh, let's see. I need to bring a solid in for this to happen. I'm going to choose to do a tube. And I'm just going to put it randomly. And we will go over the solids a little bit more when we do our solid menu. Okay. Let's go back to curve menu, and we are now on dupe edge. I'm going to select dupe edge, and I am going to select the edges that I want to duplicate. and then I'm pressing enter when done. Let's delete our solid, and this is what we're left with. These are the curves that we created from duping our edges. Alrighty, what is next? Extract edge. Alright, let's bring that solid back in, and I'm going to take my curves. I just surround them from the left side, and that way my extrusion does not come. And let me get a gumball on that. Gumball is on. Oh, weird. Oh, okay. If your command does not do what you think it should do, then perhaps you are in the middle of something. I'm not sure. A group. Okay. Evidently, I must have accidentally grouped it. Sometimes when you get a little click happy, those things happen. Okay. Extract edge. Extract curve, sorry. Let's see, extract edge. Extract edge. There we go. I'm going to click on that. Oh, what object do you want me to click on? Edge type, all edges. Let's see. Naked edges, non-edges, all edges. Okay, extract edge. Let's do that again. Extract edge. I'm going to select this object, and I'm going to press enter when done. All right. Let's move. Oh, it's going to move it with it because we're on history. All right, I am going to select the edges. Let's turn this to a different color so you can see it. There we go. That's the way I can show you. All right, so my tube that I created from the solids menu, when I extracted the edges, it extracts all of the edges. So it's a much faster command than the last one that we did, which was dupe edge. So dupe edge does it one at a time, and you have to select it. And if your solid has a lot of seams or is kind of broken up, this could take a while. So extracting the edge is a much quicker command, and it extracted the ends like I had done over here, but it also extracted a seam right here. So when the solids are built, there is a seam. You don't always see it, like there's not a seam here, but it looks the same. But there is one seam on a round cylinder like this. All right. I'm going to hit escape. There we go. Sometimes when you have to get out of the command, and you just click on your viewport and hit escape. All right, so we've gone over dupe edge, extract edge, and now extrude curve. Select my curve to extrude. Press enter when done, and look at that. Oh my gosh, that is a very practical thing to have. There are times when you get into more advanced design that could be very practical. So it's very similar to extruding a solid. If you take a curve and extrude a solid, you'll actually get the same results. But that would be in our solid menu. So we will not be going over that today. But like I've said before, there are many ways to get to the same place in design and in CAD. All right, let's move this back so that, and over, so that we have room to work. All right, let's see what else we got. Extrude curve. We've already done that. Let's see, extract edge, extrude curve. There we go. All right, let's see what this is all about. Flip. I am not familiar with flip. I'm not sure what flip wants me to do, so I am going to put a curve down and see if I can tell what is going to happen. All right, I'm selecting that curve. First, I'll click on flip, select curve, press enter when done. Where'd it go? It flipped out. Oh, I have to press enter twice. Okay, I gotcha. Let's see what it does when I press edit. Okay, it's not giving me much choice. I'm gonna open up style. Oh, it doesn't have any styles in there yet, so those are things that you can save. All right, well, this has got two curves now, so I'm not really sure. No, okay. Not really sure what the practical application is for flip. So I'm going to delete that, and we will revisit that at a later date. Okay, so the next one on our list is Jolly. I'm going to click on that, and it wants me to select a surface. So I need to create a surface. So why don't I just take this? I'm going to turn my gumball off. I don't need it anymore. And I need to come in here and create a surface. And we will go over that more when we do surfaces. So now we can go back to our curve menu and click on Jolly. Select a surface. I'm going to select this surface, and it wants me to select a pattern. So I clicked on pattern, and all of these patterns come up. I really hope you can see them. You can't. Sorry about that. I'm going to do that again. There's my surface. Pattern. And select. And here you go. So right on top of that surface is the pattern that I selected. I am going to back out of that and go back. I want to do that over. Okay, I want to do over. All right, pattern. Let me pick something. I know this is kind of a small surface, so I'm going to select this one called Metro, and it's so cool. And then I'm gonna click on enter, and look at that. That's pretty cool. Now, if I want to, that is not a dynamic command. Oh. I wonder if I can change that. No, I probably just, oh, there it goes. I clicked on enter, which activated the last command that I had. So let's go ahead and click off that, click on Jolly again. I'm going to click on this other surface, and I am going to select a pattern. I think I will select the same pattern so that you can see what I'm going to do here. Select Metro, and now I am going to use the little sliding scales here, and I am going to make the pattern a little bit bigger, hopefully. There we go. So even though you can't see the pop-up menu that I am working with, I am pretty sure you're going to be able to see what's going on. There we go. So there's the difference. It came in at this scale, and then this one I changed the scale. So there's lots that you can do with this. You can make solids out of curves. You can use it as a cutter on the surface. And so when we get to those parts in the menu, I will show you those particular actions. And there is quite a few. I'm going to do it one more time to show you some other patterns. You can do brick patterns. Here's another one that's kind of interesting, a very mid-century modern, which I love. There we go. And evidently the default on that is yellow. So I just right-clicked on yellow to select all the yellow, and then I changed all the yellow to a bright blue so that you could see it. Isn't that cool? So if you see a ring that has a lot of patterned effects, you can put this on any surface. It doesn't have to be flat. It can be like a molded, rounded surface, a rounded shank. There's a lot of practical purposes for the Jolly command. All right, and with that, I think that we are going to end this video. So that is all for curves part 2, and thank you so much for watching, and you're welcome.